Hello and welcome to the video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at this model here. This is the new HolyBro Kopis 2 SE. Now I'll try and say HolyBro rather than Holly. There is only one L in the name of this thing, but occasionally I will slip. So for those of you that have pulled me up on that, hopefully you'll give me a pass on those couple of times I get it wrong. In this video, what I'll do, we'll go through the specs, talk about how it comes, how it's set up, and do some video of it actually in flight. Now, this isn't the first model from the guys at HolyBro by any stretch of the imagination. The very first quad that they did, I looked at back in the day, and that was, I think, called the X1. That was a Flying X configuration and was a very, very good model. But it had a very proprietary main board that had the flight controller and other pieces on it as well. Now, HolyBro started to create their own flight controllers, which has that vibration isolated IMU, so you can hard mount the flight controller and a lot of the vibration is taken care of by that pad. And when they first came out, I think a lot of reviewers, including myself, was very interested to see how well that worked. And the good news is it works pretty well. And then they came out with the SCs and then the Quadctoper VTX and started producing flight stacks. And that flight stack, I really saw how good it could be in the original Kopis 1. Now, when the Kopis 1 came out, myself and lots of other reviewers got hold of it, flew it and went, wow, this is amazing. And in fact, the Kopis 1 is one of those models that was just pretty close to perfect straight out the box. Great motors, great tune, great components, really beautiful frame. And I nixed that entire idea of how that central flight stack was working in my Bolt RC build. In fact, copied everything really, so ripped the whole thing off because it worked so well, and that's why that Bolt RC build worked so nicely too. So I have been interested to see how they were actually going to improve something so good, and amazingly they've actually done it. This is a fantastic quad. So if you don't want to watch the whole video and kind of want to know whether or not this is good or not, my summary is, blimey Charlie, this is a fantastic quad. So let me just first of all go through the specs, then I'll show you how it comes in the box, and let's take you out and show you some of the flight footage and talk about the summary at the end. So inside this model, it has one of the new flight controllers from HolyBro. It's an F7 based flight controller with SPI connected ICM 2689, 32 kilohertz capable IMU set up in the middle. Has a barometer on here as well, a BMP280, a TF card, or what I'd call a micro SD card for black box logging if you want to do that. At the bottom of the stack, there's a BL Heli 32 4-in-1 ESC, capable of D-Shot 1200, but by default it's set up as D-Shot 600 in the Betaflight setup that we'll look at in a moment. Supports 4S to 6S battery, but the motors on here are optimized for 4S, and the weight is about 300 grams without the battery. At the back is one of those cute little Foxeer lollipop antennas that actually work quite nicely. MMCX connection onto the top of the stack. That's where the Quadctoper V2 is. And the other really nice thing about this is the frame. It's very modern looking, just 4 bolts to hold the top on. The camera's actually connected via some TPU 3D printed support, so they're vibration isolating. Inside of that is a little RunCam camera. The arms are individually replaceable, which is a nice touch. So by undoing a couple of screws, you can pop those out and swap them over if you do manage to break something. The setup of this is a little bit weird. You'll notice in the frame there's this kind of almost light grey line in the middle, and I haven't seen this on this size of drone before. That grey stuff in the middle is actually a carbon foam with 3K carbon either side, giving very, very stiff arms that are also very lightweight as well. The motors on here are T-Motor F40 Pro 2 2400 kV motors with dowel props. That works beautifully on this setup, and with 4S is going to be a bit of a screamer. Couple of other nice touches on here. There is a little buzzer as well, so that's going to help you find it in the grass. On the original Kopis 1, there was actually an LED strip at the back of the model. There isn't one on here. They've dropped that off, but kept the buzzer, which is the right way around in my humble opinion. The buzzer will help you find it if it does come down along grass or get stuck in a bush or a tree. You'll have a good idea where it's ended up. The tilt on the camera, I think, is a little bit more extreme than on the original Kopis. You can go from looking straight out, which is how it came in the box, to pretty much 90 degrees looking straight up if you want to have some very extreme camera angles. And this time it's running a Runcam Swift Micro rather than the mini style camera that the original Kopis 1 had. So let me talk a little bit about how it comes in the box. The box itself is super low profile. And when I first got mine, I was thinking, hang on a minute, have they sent me the right thing? But when you take the wrapping off, you have this black box. And just like they did with the original Kopis 1, when you open the box, you find there is this beautiful case to keep everything safe in. Opening the case, there is the model itself. The only thing you have to do is you have to attach the props and bind it to your radio and check that the Betaflight settings are all the same. In the top half of the case, there are 2 sets of props and also the different pieces for changing the camera settings if you really wanted to do that. Spare screws and other little bits and pieces too, including some spare cable ties if you're unlucky enough to break an arm and maybe need to replace a cable tie that's holding the antenna in place at the back of the model. Connecting it up to Betaflight, it looks like this. So very standard stuff. First of all, let me just very quickly check what version is on here. Some of the earlier versions that I've seen reviewed didn't have the latest and greatest. It's a Quadctoper F7 flight controller running Betaflight 3.5, so that's fab. Let me very quickly run through the other tabs. If you have one of these that's not running the very latest and greatest, you can see how it's set. So the ports are set up like this. The only ones that are configured, we have UART4 set for the serial receiver for S-Bus. We have UART1 set for TBS Smart Audio. We have UART6 set for Smart Port for telemetry back to the radio. And we have UART7 set up for the telemetry back from the ESCs, so we can get accurate data about the current consumption that's coming back from the model. Looking at the rest of it, D-Shot 600, 8K gyro, 2K PID loop frequency, S-Bus set by default, telemetry and LED turned on, and then all the other things you'd expect in Betaflight 3.5. Power and battery looks like that. So the onboard analog to digital converter is giving us the voltage, and the current details are coming from the sensors out in the ESC. Quick check of the receiver. I just needed to double check that the channel order was right for how my radio was set up. Oh, quick tip, when you're binding this, you might have to take off the top plate. I did, just to get hold of the little bind button that's part of the integrated receiver. This is available in 2 versions, a bind and fly version, which is this one, which comes with a little FR Sky receiver installed, and you also get one that doesn't have any receiver at all. With this one, to get to the little bind button, I just had to pop the top off, and once I'd got all that set up, I also just made sure that all the middle channel positions were bang on 1500. Again, I'll put a link here to my Betaflight bind and fly video on all the steps I go through to set it up. By default, the mode's set like this. Just an arming switch on auxiliary 1 and auxiliary 2 will let you switch into Horizon in the top mode. So I just quickly change those around. Tweaked a couple of things in the on-screen display, and then we were ready to rock and roll. So let me show you how this looks. So this was one of my first flights actually out at the field, where I decided I'd give it a quick blast around and just see what it was like. I'm using a battery I got from Race Day Quads, a 1300 4S pack, and hopefully this will give you a good idea of how the model is actually performing. The camera itself is working quite nicely. There's quite a bit of prop in the image. I haven't got the camera cranked over to a ridiculous angle, but straight away the model feels nicely locked in. The tune is pretty good, it isn't super aggressive, and it is flying fantastically well. In angle mode, it's a complete pussycat, and even though you have lots of power, the tune and rates are set up so that it's a very, very easy model to fly. In Horizon and rate mode, you give it a little bit more of a blip and you can see the power and capability of this model. It is powerful, it is fast. If you blip the throttle, it becomes a dot in the sky very, very quickly indeed. As usual, video transmitter, flight controller and everything is working flawlessly. So before I cut away from this flying footage, what do I like on here? Well, I must admit I'm impressed with this. HolyBro have done it again. They have made a blooming good quadcopter using their components. This frame is also available as a separate spare part as well from places like Banggood and others too. So if you're interested in getting your hands on this slightly unusual frame with this carbon foam in the middle and the 3K carbon pieces around the outside, then that's available as well. The way it flies is fantastic and is pretty bang on out the box. I'm sure racers would find the tune a little bit sloppy and want to tweak it, but for 80% of the pilots that pick it up, they're probably going to be happy that it's close enough. The design is simple and elegant and very modern, with the way the frame layout works, with the amount of space that there is in here, and the simple 2-screw arm replacement means that this is a very modern looking little beastie. And compared to the original Kopis 1, you know what, actually does start to make the Kopis 1 look a little bit old-fashioned, and I never thought I'd say that. Build quality is very good too. I did take the top off this one and started to take images and pictures of the inside. The HolyBro team that actually build these do take quite a bit of care. The soldering and the way everything was put together was absolutely top notch. So I didn't have to do any checking at all. It's always worthwhile when you get it ready to fly, just double checking that everything's nice and tight before you take it out to the field for the first time. But this model was perfect straight out the box. Couple of things to consider though. The XT wires on here are quite long, coming down from the side of the 4-in-1 ESC. Interestingly, on top of the ESC, they have put some isolating paint, so it's electrically isolated to stop those two pieces being shorted out. It's touches like that I really appreciate. It shows that they've really thought about building this. This isn't something they've just knocked up in an afternoon. There is a GoPro mount in the box, but there are 3D printable ones that you can download from places like Thingiverse and stick out. There's loads of room on that top deck to mount an action camera if that's what you really want to do. The camera itself is okay. It works fine. You saw the images. It's absolutely usable. There is quite a lot of prop in the image, but I could be tempted to swap that camera out with something like one of the micro Runcam Eagles or one of those smaller cameras to get slightly better image quality, just because it's the only thing on the entire model that isn't absolutely top notch. But I'm kind of nitpicking here, aren't I? So in summary, what do I think? Well, surprise, surprise, I'm not going to disagree with an awful lot of reviewers that you've probably already seen who've looked at this model. It is a cracker. It's not the cheapest model around, but HolyBro have really put a lot of time, effort and thought in here. And for me, it's always fun to see how well their latest flight controllers, ESCs and Kakute setups can fly. So those F7 flight controllers that I got in a couple of weeks ago that we looked at on the channel is now going to go to the top of the drawer for my next build. Thank you for taking the time to watch that video, and particularly for watching right to the very end. We try and release a video on Tuesday and Friday, and sometimes we'll release 1 or 2 extra ones in a week as well. All of the videos on the channel are organised into easy to use playlists, so do have a look in there, because if you're interested in a subject, we organise all the videos on that subject so you can find them easily all together in one place. If you like what we're doing, then please like and subscribe and tell others about the channel so they can come and join as well. We're available in all of the usual social media places, particularly in places like Instagram, Twitter, and we also share all of our 3D designs on Thingiverse.